Jeez. I don't know. Out of all the topics I have, this video has been getting into my head for like a couple of days. To be honest, I've been trying to make it. I don't know why, but I guess there's someone out there that needs to hear it. So, I hate the way I look. I used to hate the way I look. Kevin's messaging. I used to hate the way I look, and this is going to be some really extreme circumstances, but tomorrow's never promised, so you always have to put yourself into certain situations to kind of get clarity and really shock yourself into a reality of a situation. Okay, say you hate your nose, you hate the way your face is, you hate your skin. Oh my God, I used to always complain about everything. Oh my God, I used to complain about every single thing. You hate the colour, you wish your eyes were a different colour, you wish your hair was a different texture, you wish your hair was longer, you wish this, you wish you was taller. I think everybody has probably criticised an aspect of their self, to be honest. And there's a lot of people that don't even care. They still want surgery and all this stuff, because I used to definitely be one of the people. I wanted so much surgery, which you've definitely seen in some other videos that I've made where I've talked about that stuff. But you're always going to, there's always going to be something that annoys you. There's always going to be a look, there's always going to be a spot that appears, or just something, just being human. But when people go to extremes and allow it to really affect their self-esteem, I think that's bad, because I feel like you should embrace every part of you, because at the end of the day, this is your body, and this is the only body and the only probably consistent thing you're really going to have for the rest of your life until your dying days. Everything that you have right here. Forget materialistic things, forget what you've achieved for yourself. Like, you have to wake up in this body, live in this body 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for the rest of your life. So it's the one thing you should learn to just accept, tolerate, appreciate, and love. Things happen, shit happens, that's just life, you know. But really embracing oneself and loving yourself is like the key to anything, to be honest. And it's not even about you have to love yourself to love someone else first and all this rubbish. It's just about you, yourself, and you. So let's put some examples out there. If someone threw acid on your face, right, randomly, you don't have to, I'm sure how a lot of the people who had acid in their acid attacks, a lot of the ones that I've read as well, never saw it coming. Some people just did it for fun. I remember like a couple of months ago, like last year, like some people, they were just doing it around like Bethnal Green and in like East London just because. They did it to a pizza man. They just were doing it just because. Imagine if you became victim to that. So now all the things that you used to worry about and all the things that you used to beat yourself up about, all your natural attributes, all your natural features, you'll be the same person wishing that you looked back to how you did them. And it may sound extreme, but you never know what's going to happen. You don't know what kind of wicked people in this world. You could step out, just go to a shop, and someone could just have acid and want to throw it for fun. That's how a lot of these situations have happened, you know. There's only a few rare occasions where I read it that I'm like, this is definitely someone planned to do this. But there's some crazy people in this world. So I think that it's not too far-fetched to think about that, but you need to think about the reality of the situation where you're going to be putting where you're going to start thinking, oh my God, I wish I looked like that, I wish I didn't. You're going to be there, God, why me? God, why did this happen to me? And then you're going to suddenly forget everything that you said about yourself, about the way you looked, and not appreciating yourself. And that just goes to show you that it could just be taken just like that. God forbid. Imagine that you got diagnosed with a lifelong illness. and you've only got a certain amount of time to live, or you're trying to fight this illness. You know, people have cancer, have to go through a chemotherapy. A chemotherapy is something serious, you know, like you don't just go in and get a screening in that thing. It really takes it out of you. Like, obviously I've not had cancer, God forbid, but I've definitely seen a lot of research, and I've definitely heard a lot of people's stories, and it's not nice. So it's such a shame that it has to be something extreme for us to go through something extreme for us to really appreciate ourselves. And that is a lesson that I have fucking learned the hard way, and I wouldn't want any of you guys to learn. If I could prevent someone from learning something from it, having something extreme to make them realize what they have in front of them, then I've already done my job. Because it's not a nice thing knowing that you have to go through. Well, sometimes we unnecessarily put ourselves through these life stresses when there is no stress. We have a choice. We either live life or we choose to create problems. And a lot of the problems that we feel life brings, it's a lot of problems that we create on ourselves. And because life is very easily lived. Things happen. It's our attitudes and the way we choose to tackle daily issues. So if sometimes me, yeah, oh my God, I get so frustrated, I get so annoyed, I go, but after my little rant, I'm like literally over, I'm fine. But it used to be so bad, like when the most minimal thing would happen, and oh my God, I would beat myself up in like the worst way possible. Like, I used to attack myself. If I was physically attacking myself with all the insults I've given myself, all the times I put myself down, it would not be a pretty sight if that was physical. So it's not really nice talking about this, you know, because it's really sad to know how much I've not really appreciated myself and how much years I've really bashed myself instead of just living and embracing. And I've allowed situations to play into how I've seen myself, and for me to hate the way I look, and for me to have the struggle of accepting myself and not feeling good enough, or I'm too dark, or I'm this, or I'm not attractive enough, and why aren't people attracted, and all of this stuff, and needing validation and wanting this. All of this stuff that is totally irrelevant. Everything that we seek outside, we have within us. It's just us learning to dig deeper and really fall in love with ourselves. Sometimes you have to completely renew yourself in order for you to really see yourself in a beautiful light. So you have to literally kill yourself and rebirth you. You have to rebirth yourself with new thoughts, with new perspectives, with a newfound love for yourself. And sometimes it takes something extreme for you to realize that. And sometimes it's just like, you know what? I'm tired of beating myself up. I don't deserve to be feeling like this. I deserve to be happy. And right now, I'm the only one that can create my happiness. I'm the only one that can make me happy fundamentally. I'm the only one that matters. I am the only person right now that matters. So my happiness depends on me, on my mood, how I'm going to think, how I'm going to maneuver forward, what I'm going to do for me right now. What am I going to do for me right now to make me appreciate me? What am I going to do for me right now to make me love me? What am I going to do for me right now that showcases my importance to self? And that's always putting yourself first. When things happen, allow it to happen. Don't take it out on you. Just be like, that's life. Shit happens. Like, you're beautiful regardless. And unless you start seeing yourself as beautiful, then you're going to start seeing a different outlook on life. Not everyone's going to be everyone's type. Not everything. Imperfection is perfection. There's no thing on this earth that justifies perfection. There's nothing that is perfect. The one thing that you idolize yourself against, or that people make you feel, is because they're lacking security in themselves, and insecurity that they lack, and the insecurity that you bring out in them to make you feel low and to make you feel like you're worthy, you're less than, right? That feeling of making you feel less than shows that you are in fact perfect. You intimidate that person. You're such a powerful force to be reckoned with. You make these people feel like they need to treat you less than. That's power. That's beauty. It's true beauty. So we're not put in this world to make people feel comfortable. Okay, the more you concentrate on others and you concentrate on society, and you don't put that effort into yourself, you will forever be miserable. You will never ever be good enough. You would always be striving for something that is impossible. You can't chase perfection. You have to live it and create you. Be the beauty of your own beholder. Can't even deal. Wasted so much years. Even since secondary school, I never felt good enough. If primary school, I never felt good enough. If I had an odd pair, if I didn't have the latest trainers, even then that everyone had in school, I would feel like really bad. I remember there was one time these people got these I forgot what trainers they were. I think they were new Nike trainers. And my dad bought me, or my mum, I can't remember what one, they bought me pericardian. It's a make. I didn't know what that was then. And I wore them and I was like, oh, these are horrible. No one's got these. Like, I never embraced individuality. You know, I always was comparing myself to other people, like even from a young age, because I would see how people would act towards those people that had looks that I didn't have, you know. And I always kind of wanted that, but I always got attention and I always was popular. I've always been popular. I've always made people laugh. Everyone around me has always laughed. Ever since I was in primary school, I've always been like that. So I never knew that I had a gift. And I totally abused that of being able to make people happy just for the sake of vanity. And then that just played more and more into insecurities. And then when I became an adult and I started dating properly, that was just the worst, because already I was harboring that weakness within me. So I was attracting people that knew that words were easy to get to me, rather than showing action, rather than demanding action, rather than demanding respect. How do I demand respect of people, and how do I expect to be appreciated when I don't even give that to my fucking self? You know, I shouldn't need someone to tell me I'm beautiful. I know I should know it, right? Like, now I'm at the point where like people are like, oh, you're so sexy, and I'm like, and it's not like, it's before, oh my god, that word to me used to be like, really? And now it's just like, and I know there's times that I feel very sexy, there's times where I don't, but overall, okay, I'm sexy, thanks. And like, there's not much that anyone can say to me to sway me, and that's the beautiful thing about growth. But a lot of people don't get complacent with their thoughts and become their own worst enemy. And it's important that you nurture, that you analyze, that you elaborate on every step of you, every part of you. You break down, you analyze, you look back on last month, you look back on last week, you look back at yourself, have moments of silence with yourself where you're just reflecting on yourself and how far you have come, and what you need to do for you to get to a certain place of that where you're ultimately happy. Because I always used to be like, when I'm 30, I want to be my one goal is to be ultimately happy. And I used to think that would require being happy in a relationship with somebody and kids, although it does, but you can personally fulfill that happiness within yourself, and I never knew that. So I guess a part of me was always hoping to be in something to achieve that, for this goal that I had. I had to achieve that happiness for this goal that I had. And it's such a weird thing because it took me coming out of the goal that I wanted to have with that person and going through what I went through, dating, to deciding not to date, and then to date again, to not to date, to get to this point where I actually feel that fulfillment now. It's just an element I'm out of sync with, because I'm not fully at that point where I'm like, yes, I'm happy, because I'm happy with myself. I'm happy within myself. I'm happy with the person that I am and the person and the man I've become. But to have that fulfillment, I feel like you're only going to really get that fulfillment when you're really doing something that drives your passion. Do you know what I mean? And because I'm working towards that, I know that's my goal. So once I'm good, so like I can just die like this. You know, right now I'm just like this. I'm happy, but I'm not at that fulfilling stage. So that fulfilling stage will be once I'm waking up and I'm doing exactly what I want to do, what's in my heart to do, and that's that. But I can only be so much. I feel like I've explained it. Like, yeah. So and then obviously if you have kids and all that, that just adds. But I definitely have realized, like, oh my God, I've been watching so much motivational things this year. I've been reading and I've just been nurturing myself. And I have to say, one of the biggest women that I've actually taken like a real love for and a real liking to has been Eartha Kitt. And definitely I've been watching her stuff, watching her music, and even Marilyn Monroe. I've been watching so many people. And it's just one thing that she said that I love is, I want someone to share my love with me. And that made me realize that, like, that is the goal, because you should be so fulfilled with yourself that you would want to share yourself with somebody. It's not about compromising you and compromising them. There should be no compromise when you're with somebody. There shouldn't be no compromise. I mean, there's little things like one person likes coffee, one person likes tea. That's different, but that's not a compromise. That's just personal preference of what each person likes. You know, that has nothing to do with compromise. But how I've perceived things have definitely been wrong, and the situations that I've been in I've definitely had a wrong, it's not wrong, but I've definitely kind of less than settled, and in a sense kind of degraded myself for my wants and my needs, and compromising my wants and my needs for what I deserve, for my own self and for my self-worth, for someone who, for people that actually were incapable of ever doing that, which therefore made them less than for what my standards should have been for myself. Because you guys, it sounds like it's drifting, but all of this has played into the parts of my life where I've hated the way that I've looked. Because when you grow up, when you're growing in your child, you turn to a teen, it's different. But when you start to proper date, from whatever age you start to proper date, especially in this community, oh my God, looks is like forefront of everything. People are super shallow, and you become shallow, and you definitely become shallow-minded and materialistic in an aspect of that. You start looking for stuff that you shouldn't be looking for. You start expecting stuff that you shouldn't be expecting. And everything is just like blurred lines instead of you really like being in depth and in tune with yourself. If I would have been this in depth and in tune with myself years ago, oh my God, I would have had such a different flipping outcome. But that's the whole point of growth. And I don't ever want people to think that it's too late for them, because a lot of people may think that when they start to think certain things. Like, I've got a lot of people that are older. I look at my analytics, and I see people who are over 65 plus watching my YouTube, you know, consistently, and that's amazing. And they comment. So I don't ever want anyone to think that you're too old to grow. You're never too old to grow and too old to discover yourself. There's things that I probably will still be discovering myself on my deathbed. You know, you're always going to learn, but it's important for you to nurture that growth, because as you're nurturing yourself and you're analyzing and you're elaborating and you're allowing, you're falling in love with yourself, because nurturing yourself, you're falling in love with yourself. You're giving yourself that good ingredients of becoming a better you every single day, doing things and putting yourself forefront of everything. Once you're doing that and you're living your best life for yourself, you ultimately just get content with everything. So it allows you to really, I forgot the point I wanted to make. Oh my God, I forgot it. Oh, wait, let me remember. Once you're nurturing yourself, you know what? It's really crazy that I say all this stuff, you know, and I don't even write anything down. I just put on a video and talk. I don't even know where all this comes from sometimes. But when you are nurturing yourself like that, you have no option but to love the person you see more and more. Those spots that you see, the stretch marks that you see, the blemishes, the acne, the hair loss, the hairline, the whatever, the teeth, the whatever is wrong, you start to see it as fine. I am just fine. I am fine. Obviously, we're all entitled. There's always room for improvement, but it wouldn't become a thing where it's so detrimental to how you view yourself, to your self-esteem. It doesn't nag at your self-esteem. Like, this is it. You know, one day I might do this, one day I might not, but right now, I'm beautiful regardless. You need to have that attitude about yourself. Like, regardless. Like, sometimes when you're hungry and there's McDonald's and KFC, oh, I don't care, I just want to eat something. Or sorry, if you're vegetarian or if you're vegan and, you know, you have those options around you, you just want to eat, you don't really care. Like, that's how you need to see about your looks. That's how you need to feel about yourself. Like, I'm going to be good regardless. It's fine. I'm not opposed to surgery and all that stuff, but I'm definitely opposed to it, to seeing it as a way out when you feel already bad about yourself. I don't think you need to be doing anything like that when you feel when your self-esteem is this low. I feel like you should at least feel a decent way about yourself before you even can, otherwise you're not going into anything like that logically. Your body is not something to be played with. And it's already bad enough, like, we risk our lives and ourselves entrusting ourselves and having sex without condoms and stuff like that, and kissing people, and, you know, you can even get herpes from kissing. So, like, we really do put ourselves at risk a lot of the times, and the one thing you need to do is put yourself intentionally at risk just because of a love you don't have for yourself. You never know. Like, a lot of people go through surgery and they still don't love themselves, because a lot of people, when they go under the knife once, they never stop going. Like, they always find something else and something else and something else and something else. And then they say they love themselves, they're so perfect, but still they want to get this and they get that. Like, that's not a life that I want to encourage for anybody. And I feel like if I would have done that, then I would have just been a fucking wreck now. So, no, perfection is within you. There is no such thing as perfection. That sounded like I just contradicted myself, but I knew what I wanted to say. It just came out wrong. Perfection to me is imperfection. I feel like perfection is someone that embraces themselves in their entirety, and like flaws and all, and it can still be like, you know what, I'm amazing. Like, that to me is perfection. Like, not necessarily that someone looks like they have the perfect skin, they have the perfect hair, they are perfect. You know how much people I see like that on Instagram that look perfect. And that's another thing. Don't allow social media to impact your decisions on what perfection is, because that is just a false perception of beauty, and it's not even existent. It don't even exist. Half those people, half of the girls are contoured up to their faces, and there's filters all over the place. Then there's surgery. You don't understand what people look like before. There's contouring apps, so people are not even real looking like that. Like, you can never ever allow yourself to be influenced by social media. You need to learn when to tune that out and be like, okay. Because so much times I can see a man, I'm like, and then, to be honest, I feel like, how much men in this world look like they've got 2 pecs and a 6-pack? Oh my God, on Instagram, I'm sure it could be a hashtag, and everyone ends up looking the same, and they don't even look human. So like, I'm not going to imagine if I was so body conscious and I was looking and I was like, oh my God, I need a 6-pack. It's like, do I have to go to the gym just to put it as a hashtag for me to appeal more, to seem more attractive to people? No, like, if someone's going to like me, I know I do not go to the gym. I can appreciate being with someone that goes to the gym, but me, I don't. And that's that. Like, if you're going to appreciate someone, you appreciate someone in their whole state, in their entirety. Like, I will accept you for going to the gym, for being the best diet person ever. You can accept me for me liking my kebab meat and chips, not going to the gym, and still love me for me. Like, you shouldn't need to compromise with certain stuff. If that's not what you want, then don't go for it. You know, but then don't play into your looks either. Just because that person may not be interested, or you may not be getting that type of attention, it doesn't mean that you're less than. And it should not even come into your self-esteem. That person might just not be for you. I always used to do that, you know. Oh my God. If someone like wasn't like paying me attention, that I thought that I would idolize as like gorgeous, then oh my God, it's because I'm not good enough, it's because I look like this, because I don't do this, because I don't do that. No, it's just probably just not for you. And you never even know, like, so having a conversation with them, you might realize that you don't like them as well. Just because someone may look a certain way, it doesn't mean that they're going to be a certain way. And we just have this thing, just because people look good, they're going to be nice and it's so sweet, and you start imagining all these things, and like, no, because when I have had that, it definitely has not been like that. So just stop relying on everyone else's validation, and stop paying attention to things that you don't need to pay attention on. And the only person that really exists, and the only person that matters, the only person that needs to be of importance is you. You could be a mother, you could be a father. You still have to nurture you as a man and as a woman and as an individual person. Otherwise, you're never going to be the best person you can be for anybody else if you don't nurture this person that you are right here, right now. I wouldn't be a good parent if I didn't love me and if I didn't have me as an individual. It's true. You can't. You can't just, people like labeling themselves and it's like they cut off their whole life as an individual just because. No, you have to nurture yourself. You really do. So this is all you have. This right here is all you have. Well, this is all I have. It's not yours. But I can be yours for YouTube. Or take me. So, this video has gone way longer than I thought. But I really do hope that it's like helped someone. It's been a long time since I made a video this long about a subject. So I just told you, like, I feel like I was made to make this video because it's just been on my head, and I'm like, why is this on my head for? So I made time to make it today, and I hope that it helps. So you guys take care until the next video. I'm sorry that it's so long, because if you actually watched it to the end, I appreciate you guys so much. And if no one has told you, I love you, and I wish you the best, most prosperous day, week, evening, year, whenever you watch this video ahead. And always remember that you're beautiful, and don't you ever allow anyone to make you feel less than. Perfect just the way you are.